Welcome to Special Stage. There's an air of excitement here at Chepstow Racecourse as the winter preparations come to an end and we count down to the start of another BTRDA Rally Championship campaign. Once again, the Team GMF Wydene Forest Rally has attracted a strong entry, with a host of quick contenders all capable of taking victory on the season opener. A notable name missing from the top of the entry is last year's champion Steve Perez, but among others we can expect a passionate performance from Nick Elsmore, who, without confirmed plans for the rest of the year, will be hoping to top the leaderboards on his home event once again. The fans' favourite Andy Burton will also be back out in the legendary Peugeot Cosworth, in what looks set to be his and the car's final BTRDA campaign. So with fierce competition assured through the main field, 1400 and historic categories, it's all eyes to the gravel as we bring you some of the UK's top rally talent and some of the sport's most iconic rally special stages for the 2011 Team GMF Wydene Forest Rally. So Julian, here we are at the start of the BTRDA for 2011. Confidence must be brimming after last year.
I don't know about confidence. I don't think anybody's confident before a rally. That's your bag of nerves, and it's the first one of the year. So yeah, I feel okay, but we'll see how we go after the first stage.
Any changes to the car to note?
Yeah, we spent a long time over the winter just sort of making sure everything was okay. We've taken a step back on the gearbox actually. We've come back from a dog engagement box to a synchro box, just to try and get a bit of reliability out of it. It was quite costly to run during the year. And ultimately it let us down when we needed to finish in Ulster last year on the BRC Challenge, so we just want to go out and have fun this year.
So the BTRDA field is led away as usual by the 1400 category, and first out of the blocks will be last year's champions Julian Wilkes and Will Rutherford in the Nova, the pair opening up a lead right from the start, 27 seconds ahead after the first two stages. Justin Lawson and Paul Hargreaves came out of the first stage in equal second place, but they managed to edge out a small advantage on stage 2 and claim second place for themselves. Losing out in that second place battle were Darren Pinchin and Karen Watts, but it was only 1 second that separated them from Lawson at this early stage, and any number of mistakes by the Vauxhall driver could see them take that second place right back. Clive Anstey and Tim Curry make a steady start in fourth place, 54 seconds off the lead after 2 stages, but it was already looking like the top 3 were in a rally of their own, even at this stage in the event. Leading the MGs after the first few stages were Marcel Freeling and Karen Robinson, an improvement on the 8th position they held after stage 1. The pair end stage 2 in 5th place. Dominic Scott and James Bailey take 6th place in the second of the MGs. And a return to the BTRDA Championship for Roger Priestnall and Jamie Forrest. Roger's last BTRDA event was in mid-2009, rallying taking a back seat due to work commitments overseas. But it was a good comeback so far, settling into 7th place and driving like he hadn't been away. Kieran Darrington and Pamela Hilton continue the pairing that worked so well last season and come out of stage 2 in 8th place. 9th place and first of the 1.4C runners were Ed Robinson and Mark Watkins. Good progress given that this was always going to be a steady start. This is the first time the pair had competed alongside each other. Wyn Morgan and Elgin Davies round off the top 10 at this stage in the Citroën C2. Onto the second loop of stages now, and it would still be Julian Wilkes who held that lead. That advantage now doubled to over a minute over second place Lawson.
Julian, how's the Forest of Dean treating you?
Very well. My blood pressure's up. That last stage, probably we had more moments in that last stage, Speech House.
Not this one.
Hey? Not this one, sorry, the Speech House, the proper one. More moments than I've had all of the last 2 or 3 years. Very, very muddy, incredibly, foot deep in mud. But we managed to survive. It felt slow in places, but we'll see how we do.
Wilson was still holding on to that second place though, managing to fight off Darren Pinchin to gain himself an 8-second lead over the chasing Yellow Proton. Pinchin and Karen Watts in 3rd place were fighting hard to make up the deficit to Lawson, but the tape trailing from the roof of the Proton was an indication the pair could have had an overshoot, possibly pushing a little too hard for that second place. Clive Anstey and Tim Curry remain in 4th place, still going strong, but still losing a few seconds to the front runners in the category.
The tarmac of the racecourse must have been a shock to the system after the morning stages.
The shock to the system was how tight the bloody chicanes were. Absolutely ridiculous. Took off both the wing mirrors in the first one. And the second one, I don't know how you get around it in a WRC car. That was just impossible through there.
No change either for Marcel Freeling and Karen Robinson. They remained 5th going into service. Dominic Scott and James Bailey keep hold of their 6th place, still the second of the MGs. And jumping up a place to 7th were Kieran Darrington and Pamela Hilton in the Corsa.
Small crest bump and down, a turn and square right onto gravel.
Meanwhile, Roger Priestnell and Jamie Forrest drop down out of that 7th place into 8th as the morning loop ends. The cause of the lost time being a broken drive shaft towards the end of the Speech House stage. Still going well were Ed Robinson and Mark Watkins. The only issue a broken exhaust in stage 3, which would have to be looked at in service. Wyn Morgan and Elgin Evans remain in 10th place in the little C2, over 3 minutes now separating the top 10. So as the event moves into the final stages, let's have a look at the 1400 classes and the overall category results. In the Rally First 1 litre class, it would be a consistent day for Harry Morgan and James Ford. They had held on to their 3rd in class for the duration of the event. Alistair Sutherland and seasoned F1000 competitor Alistair Dodd had a mixed run, which wasn't without incident. Luckily nothing too serious, an overshoot on a chicane at the racecourse being the incident to lose them the most time. Still, they end the day 2nd in class. But winners of the class were Ian Arden and Ben Thomas. Having been just 3 seconds up going into the last stage, a push through the final test sees them take victory by 16 seconds. In the Rally First 1.4 class, Dave and Michael Town guide the Rover 214 to 3rd, having moved into that spot early on in the event. The top 2 positions in the class remained unchanged from start to finish though. Chris Hellings and Nick Farmer taking the 2nd place award in the MG. While making a stunning start to the defence of his Rally First title, Ash Slights, with co-driver Tom Hughes, put in a limelight-stealing performance through the Speech House stage to give them a lead of over a minute going into service, and a healthy cushion for the afternoon loop. This a lead that would be added to as the day went on, eventually leading the Rally First crews home some 2 minutes out in front. 3rd in Class 1.4L were Matt Griffin and Joe Cruttenden. This regular pairing had been 2nd in class in the early stages, but were beaten to that spot as the day went on. Still a good result for the first rally, and one that both Matt and Joe would really enjoy, especially given a last-minute change of car to the left-hand drive Rally for Real Polo. Shane Parry and Stuart Ackers were worthy takers of that 2nd place in the Peugeot 106. At the midpoint in the day, it was as close as just 1 second between 2nd and 3rd. But by the time the cars arrived back at Chepstow for the finish, a more healthy 26 seconds would ensure their 2nd in class. James Weaver and Teresa Butler put in a good performance to net themselves the 1.4L class win, a lead of over a minute at the end of the event. And in 1.4C, it would be Steve Jenkins and Mark Vaughan in the Saxo to take the 3rd place honours, in a class with a leaderboard that remained consistent for the entire rally. 2nd in that class and taking 10th overall were Eurus Evans and Dylan Lewis in the Nova. Kieran Darrington and Pamela Hilton would unfortunately lose a little time over the afternoon stages, catching a car in stage 5 which held them up and overshooting on stage 7 which cost them even more valuable time. These incidents dropped them down to 9th place at the end of the event. Ed Robinson and Mark Watkins take advantage of Darrington's struggles to move up into 8th. They also take the Class 1.4C win with this result. Roger Priestnell and Jamie Forrest had been complaining that the car was down on power all day, so some work would be needed before the next round, but for now they take 7th place, a good result on their return to the BTRDA. Dominic Scott and James Bailey remained consistent throughout the day to net themselves a 6th place finish in the MG. While Marcel Freely and Karen Robinson solidly take the MG honours after guiding the car to 5th place. And with only 15 seconds separating the 2 MG crews at the finish, it really had been a push right to the end. Clive Anstey and Tim Curry had spent most of the day being best of the rest, after the top 3 started to run away with the event. Still a good 4th place finish for the pair and some impressive times on the stages. Justin Lawson and Paul Hargreaves would miss out on the 2nd place they had held for most of the event after being pipped at the final post, their performance over the final 2 stages being bettered by Darren Pinchin and Karen Watts, who had clawed back enough time in the last handful of miles to land what would be a very welcome result, especially on Karen's home event.
Darren, you look happy and you must be with 2nd place.
Yes, no, 2nd's good. We didn't think we were going to get 2nd today because we spent most of the day with no rear brakes, so...
But you made a great comeback, and to be going into the last stage a second ahead, fantastic.
No, we didn't realise that at the time, but we do now, obviously. But yeah, we sort of, well, I just had to push, and we had a bit of a tyre change around this afternoon as well. So, and the stage has been a bit drier this afternoon. This morning was wet, and with no brakes on the back when it's wet, you're just trying to keep the thing straight in the corners is not fun. So, but we're here now.
A great start to the season, and I'm sure you're looking forward to the other rounds now.
Yeah, no, I'll look forward to the Wilson now. That's our next mission. So yeah, get the car back, get it cleaned and ready.
Congratulations to you both. That's a fantastic result.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
But once again, the winners of the Team GMF Wide-In Forest Rally 1400 category are Julian Wilkes and Will Rutherford. A faultless drive in the Nova sees the pair net a hat-trick of wins now on this high-profile event. With plans not yet finalised for this season, Wilkes has plenty of thinking to do after a convincing victory like this.
We had a lot of near scares, near misses, near big accidents, but it's been fantastic. Really pleased to bring it home.
Will's making his wedding.
Yes, there was a few moments today that both myself and him thought he ain't going to get to his wedding in April. It was there's a lot of logs out there, and so many times how the car crossed up and down straights, flat out in 5th, where we got a tank slapper going on, and it's been fantastic there. Great.
Well, you've won, which is a result in itself, but you look like you've had the best day as well, which is what it's all about.
I think not doing a championship, it just spurs us on to having a bit of a sprint today and a bit of a go, and we went out hard from the start, and it's worked.
Could this result spur you on to do the championship?
It could do, yeah. We would have to change our tyres, so the tyres are very good. Dunlop's fantastic.
But is there a control tyre with the lack of Silverstone tyres in the UK?
I believe so. The first 2 rounds, anybody can use whatever tyres they like, and then after the Malcolm Wilson for the Somerset, which we're doing a Somerset as well because it's our local event, they've got to be back on Silverstones for that.
I think I can see how this is going.
Maybe.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
Enjoy
you
that.
very much. Yeah, cheers. Thank you. Cheers, Paul.
The historic category just keeps getting more popular as the years pile on, and of course also attracting some top names from the sport. The Team GMF Wide-In Forest Rally historic category this year really is no different, with a good selection of drivers all capable of a win today.
Phil, always great to see you breaking up the escorts in this whole thing.
Absolutely. I don't know whether we're breaking them up, but interfering with them is what we're going to try and do during the course of the day. It was interesting, on the Roger Albert Clark we were the only non-escort in the top 10, you know, so it's important to have a variation of cars in this historic. And here we are, the pre-1981 Open Escape.
So, plan of action for the rally?
Well, we've got to go as hard as we can. I haven't done this rally since 2004. We won the two-wheel drive then, and we're 18th overall, as I was reminded this morning by John Smart. And there's a lot of mud in there, we've got to treat it with a lot of respect. But at least we'll have some grip as opposed to Roger Albert Clark, where we're on snow the whole way through.
Absolutely, the stages are apparently looking quite nice. So.
Yeah, interspaced by mud, but they're not rough, they're wide, they're in good condition. I'm really looking forward to it.
Fastest out of the blocks, and definitely no strangers to winning, were Nick Elliott and Dave Price. First place at the end of stage 2. Simon Tysoe and Cliffy Simmons finished the second stage 19 seconds down on Elliott to take second place at this early stage. Terry Brown and Thomas Whittle were hot on the heels of Tysoe, just 5 seconds behind in third. And only a further 3 seconds behind were Phil Collins and Brian Thomas in the Opel Ascona, now in fourth place. Warren Philliskirk and Matthew Watton had already started a climb, moving from 7th to 5th on the second stage of the rally. While Simon and Alistair Crook had also made an advance on that lead, jumping up 2 places themselves to 6th. Tim Phelps and Pete Wilson would end stage 1 in 11th place, but a push on stage 2 sees them move up into 7th, a promising start to the rally. For Guy Woodcock and Hugh Kent, on the other hand, it wouldn't be such a great start. A bad tyre choice hemorrhaging time to the leaders and setting them up in 8th place after the morning's early tests. Pete Smith and Russ Langthorne move up into 9th place, now on an equal time to Woodcock, with Roger Matthews and Mike Jode rounding off the top 10 after stage 2. It wouldn't be such a good start either for number 2 seeds Peter Elkins and Adrian Joel. They go OTL and unfortunately retire without a result on the board. Moving on to the morning's second loop of stages, it would be Nick Elliott and Dave Price who maintained their dominance of the event in first place, edging out a lead of almost a minute now.
Nick, still first historic, how's it going?
Yeah, we were very rusty and pathetic on the first stage, but we did get our act together on 2 and 3. So yeah, we're comfy as fast as we want to be without taking any risks. So just have a nice afternoon and try and entertain the spectators.
Keep it that way.
Yes, indeed. We'll see you later on, hopefully.
Simon Tysoe and Cliffy Simmons briefly lost their second position, but soon regained it on stage 4. However, that was under threat from a number of chasing crews behind, all separated by only a couple of seconds. Phil Collins and Brian Thomas had been the crew to briefly take that second place from Tysoe, but we're now back in third, only 1 second separating them going into service. And the competition would remain fierce as the leaderboard went on. Terry Brown and Thomas Whittle were now on a dead level time with Collins and also pushing hard for that second place. Warren Philliskirk and Matthew Watton were another crew in the mix, themselves only 1 second down on Brown and Collins. 4 crews then separated now by only 2 seconds after 4 competitive stages. With the tyres changed in service, Guy Woodcock and Hugh Kent went out to record some better times, ending the morning in 6th, which also puts them in the lead of their class. Seventh place going into service was Simon and Alistair Crook, dropping down 1 place from their 8th on the previous loop of stages. And moving up into the top 10 now was Stuart Clark and Kevin Haven. The pair had been down on time after a problem with the clutch pedal jamming on stage 2, which forced them to get out of the car to fix the problem. They lie in 8th place for now. Pete Smith and Russ Langthorne hold their 9th place and indeed their lead of the class going into service. Neville Jones and Paul Wakely make an entry into the top 10. Jones one of a growing trend of drivers switching from the modern 4-wheel drive machinery to the lure of the rear-wheel drive historic Escorts.
Neville, how are the stages?
Oh, very slippery. Yeah. It's a real handful driving this and on slippy stages for me today, instead of a Subaru. So yeah, it's good fun though.
Well, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting out and finishing off this afternoon, hopefully in one piece.
Excellent, we hope so too.
Only one finisher in the H1 class means that Simon Wallace and Preston Ayres take the win in their Cortina. Their only rivals in the class came in the form of Gordon Cameron and Sheila Grimshaw in the Mini Cooper, but they would retire on stage 5. Retiring in a more spectacular fashion on stage 6 were Tom Coterie and David Holmes, caught here on the fan cam by spectator Dave Waldron. The pair had been lying in 6th place before this rally-ending roll. In Class H2, it was Tim Phelps and Pete Wilson who took the 3rd spot, netting themselves 13th overall too, only 1 second off 12th place. And occupying that 12th place were Barry Jordan and James Grattan-Smith. They take 3rd in the H3 class, with Neville Jones and Paul Wakely just dropping out of the top 10 again at the end of the rally to finish the day in 11th place. With 10th place going to Roger Matthews and Mike Joe, a result that also nets them 2nd in the H2 class. Pete Smith and Russ Langthorne, though, are the worthy winners of that class, finishing the event in 9th place. Not much change for Simon and Alistair Crook. They dropped just 1 place over the second half of the day to finish in 8th position. Guy Woodcock and Hugh Kent fought back hard from their wrong tyre choice on the morning stages to 7th place, but sadly they just miss out on the class win by a frustrating margin of 5 seconds. Stuart Clark and Kevin Haven, however, do take the class win in H3 and also 6th overall. While Terry Brown and Thomas Whittle dropped down the results slightly on the last loop. A couple of spins in the final stages mean they dropped to 5th overall. Still a good result here on the season opener. Warren Philliskirk and Matthew Wattham take advantage of Brown's mistakes to move into 4th place, with 3rd place going to Simon Tyso and Cliffy Simmons. A good run all weekend and a good result, also taking 3rd in class.
Simon, has been some classic battles on those stages this afternoon, hasn't there?
Yeah, we've had a very good run. Especially we started the stages this morning, and the idea was to finish after last year's episode here, and we've done that, and we've had a good result. And there's been some, like you say, some good battles out there. At midday we were up to 2nd, and we got pipped this afternoon. So
the very good results to come away with.
Oh, excellent! Yeah, well chuffed, well pleased, and North car hasn't missed a beat, and everything's gone to plan really. So, yeah.
Good start to the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, onwards and upwards. Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you.
And bringing their bit of variety to the top of the historic category leaderboard were Phil Collins and Brian Thomas, guiding the Ascona to 2nd place.
Phil, sorted the problems with the brakes, and the rest of the day seemed to go smoothly.
This afternoon stages were perfect. Sunshine, the stages have dried up a bit, and yeah, we've obviously replaced the brake pipe and put some fluid in it, bled the brakes.
What exactly happened to the brakes?
Oh, just a stone knocked the pipe off. It's, when you look at it now, it's a bit vulnerable, but you know, it's never happened before, and when it happens, of course, I don't know whether it's front or back, or just the pedal goes soft, and in Speech House, all those 500 yards straights with tight corners at the end of it, it's very unsettling. So,
well, obviously a great result. What does the rest of the season hold for you?
Oh, well, we're going to pick out 4 or 5 historic events to do with the Ascona, but we're going to County Mayo to do what they're describing as a Legends event for 2-wheel drive. Austin McHaley's coming out in M3, so looking forward to that a lot, and then Killarney and Donegal. So 3 brilliant rallies in Ireland. And
well, a brilliant start to the season for you as well.
Absolutely, great. Really enjoyed it.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Okay.
But winners of the 2011 Team GMF Wydeen Historics are Nick Elliott and Dave Price. A good clean run to finish over 1.5 minutes ahead of the rest of the field.
Nick, judging by the smile on your face, you've had a good day. The results also say that.
Yeah, we've had a good day. Our pace has got quicker actually during the day. Sort of the winter sort of rest, rustiness is gone. and should put us in good stead for the first historic championship round in 3 weeks' time. So overall, we've had a good, purposeful day.
Excellent. Well, to come away with the historic victory is obviously very special on the opening round of the season when you've got so much tough competition.
Yep, there's some good guys behind, and a lot of them will again be out on the round in 3 weeks' time. But yeah, very pleased to come in first. When you start first, you can only go one way, and yeah, it's just pleasing now if we can be the first two-wheel drive from the rest of the runners, and somewhere close to the top 10 would round the day off.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations on the result.
Thank you very much.
With the 1400 and historic events rounded up, let's get stage side for a look at the main field.
Nick, another top of the leaderboard on a local event would be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. But this has got to be one of the toughest entries we've had for me to try and get to the top of. So we're going to do our best. We are in a Group N car after all, so I don't make it easy for myself.
You didn't make it easy for them last year either, though.
No, that's right. Local knowledge obviously helps. And I've had a good talk with the guys, and we're going to be going flat out. The car is still for sale, but I don't think that's going to hamper progress today.
Andy, I guess the plan must be as ever, just go flat out and see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll see how we get on. It's always the first stage on the beginning of the year is very tough, but it's such a good entry. There's any number of 12 people could be really quick on the first stage, so it'll be really good.
Really good entry to make your name against in a car you built yourself as well.
Because the car's getting a bit old like the driver, so we'll see.
So the talk, of course, is the car and what happens next. Are you able to give us a clue?
Not really, no.
I thought you'd say that.
Yeah. Obviously, this is the last year for it, so it'll be sad, really, to see it go. But at the same time, it's done a lot around it, so perhaps it's time it stopped.
No strangers to these forests, Hugh Hunter and Andy Marchbank open up an early lead on the slippery stages. A lead of only 2 seconds, though, after the first 2 tests. Chasing down the Focus pair were Andy Burton and Robin Kellard in the crowd-pleasing Peugeot Cosworth. And with this looking like the last season for the car, they wouldn't want a repeat of last year's retirement. For Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick, third place at the end of the first loop was a good start. This was their first visit down to Chepstow for the Wydene, so this was a good pace to show this early on against the Forest of Dean natives. Charlie Payne and Craig Thorley in the similar Ford Focus World Rally car were doing their best to keep up with Bird and managing, but only just. Now 3 seconds separating them after stage 2. David Wright and Michael Wilkinson had an average start in the B13 Evo to settle into 5th place. The pair lucky to have an off-road excursion without suffering any damage or significant time loss. A second fastest time on the very first stage for Tom Cave and Craig Parry in the new Evo, but the pair would drop down to 6th on stage 2. Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield also make a good start, 7th overall at this point in the rally. And not quite the start that Nick Elsmore and Paul Spooner had been looking for on Nick's home event, but nonetheless it was still another strong showing against the WRC machines ahead of them, 8th overall at this stage. Roger Chilman and Andrew Sankey, out for their first season in the new Impreza, will be hoping for a result to set them up at the start of the BTRDA Championship. 9th overall after stage 2, a solid introduction to the campaign. Jason Pritchard and Robbie Durant round off the top 10 in their Impreza. Over the next couple of stages, Andy Burton and Robin Kellard would edge out a lead from Hunter, the car growling happily and clearly more at home on the fast stages compared with the Focus. The pair now holding a lead of 5 seconds going into service.
Good, yeah, very good. We just got a problem with the plug, keeps going down, but apart from that, it's brilliant.
Hunter and Marchbank were still showing fighting spirit though, and were staying close to Burton's pace on the stages. they would surely be on a push in the afternoon to make up some time and take back that lead.
Hugh, it's looking good so far?
Yeah, we've had a good morning with a really good start in Chepstow Park. We went well enough in Serridge as well, but we lost a little bit to Andy in there, but we kind of thought we might with the long straights, and Speech House was so-so. I mean, I overdrove it. Speech House, very important stage on this rally, and I probably tried a little bit too hard and overdrove it a bit, but hey, we're here.
Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick were still going strong in third place, now just 1 second behind Hunter. Yet more improvement in the stage times of Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield, moving their way up to 4th going into service.
Yeah, we're a little bit rusty, so it's showing on the times. We're a bit slow, but yeah, we're slowly getting there, and the car's working very well. Made some changes and just trying to get used to them.
David Wright and Michael Wilkinson remain in 5th place. The car now showing some signs of a glancing blow with a tree in stage 3, though again, a lucky escape and no worries for the Mitsubishi driver.
David, of course, 2009 Gold Star champion. How's the first event treating you so far this year?
Yeah, it's fantastic to be back. Start of a new year and new car, so just taking a bit of settling in. Seems so much different to last year, but yeah, it feels good. We've had a bit of a slippy stage on that last one. Had a bit of an overshoot on the flying finish on the first stage, but apart from that, we're going well. Happy with it.
6th overall now for Roger Tillman and Andrew Sankey, an improvement on this second loop of stages.
Roger, you happy?
Fairly happy. That's always a bit of a difficult stage, but we've had an interesting morning, getting used to the new car. There's a lot of different buttons and things going on in here, and just a really real learning day, really. So yeah, we're fairly happy. We're going to make a few alterations now in service and see if we can improve a bit this afternoon.
Right, keep it going.
Thanks a lot. Cheers.
And a few places higher for Nick Elsmore and Paul Spooner too. Only 2 seconds off Tillman after 4 stages and currently leading N4. Nick showing the pace we have come to expect on these Forest of Dean stages.
Hanging in there, Nick.
Yeah, not bad. The technology of these World Rally cars, you know, they're a bigger advantage than what they were last year in the dry. So, and now it's wet, they're just leaps ahead of me. So I make the game for winning, but just having a good battle and trying to keep ahead of Group M boys.
Second in N4, just behind Elsmore, with Tom Cave and Craig Parry, dropping a little time on stages 3 and 4. Nigel Griffiths and John Scott make a move up into the top 10 now, and end the morning in 9th place. A change of pace, and apparently an extra gear found in that gearbox for Harry Hunt and Steve McPhee. The first time out in a 4-wheel drive car, and a good debut too, now with 10th place to their name going into service. Halfway through the event now, and the class battles taking shape nicely. Leading class N3 going into service were Nick Cristofaro and James Morgan, a lead of almost a minute at this stage. David Poyser and John Orme currently occupy second in class, but they are being chased down for that position. Hot on their heels are Matt Beebe and George Gwynn in third, only 8 seconds behind Poyser and battling hard for that place. In Class B10, Andy Gwynn and Holly Robinson would arrive in service with the class lead, but it wouldn't be a big one. Only a 10-second advantage now for the Saxo crew. Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock in the Escort were leading the class on the first few stages, but now it was second place. Trying to make back some time and take back the lead was the game plan here. Nigel Booley and Dave Cato round off the class top 3. Class B11 was being led by the ever sideways Joe Price and Chris Brooks in the Voodoo Escort, a lead of 38 seconds in the class. And just as entertaining, running in second position, were Mick Jones and Dale Furness. And again some sideways in the Opel Kadett to finish the morning stages in third in class were Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine.
40 down to a 6 right, 40 down to a 6 right, 86 right, and 40 slowing for danger, hairpin left, an immediate turn, acute right, bad bump, hairpin left, acute right, bad bump, and 4 left. 4 left, then 60 to a hairpin right deceptive, and 40 to a 3 left long.
Tim Freeman and Chris Butcher head into service in the lead of Class B12. A good start considering they almost didn't make the start of the rally. The car they were supposed to compete in developed a problem and a spare, less powerful car was entered in its place. Colin Webb and Matt Rogers in the BMW were lying second in class, just 16 seconds down on Freeman. And James Swift and Matthew Pugh round off the top 3 in the class, a further 19 seconds back. Three more stages remain after service, and on the first couple it would still be Andy Burton and Robin Kellard in the lead of the event. The advantage now opened up to 20 seconds and the Peugeot Cosworth still on song. Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick had now jumped up into second place, a move which was in part down to a mistake by Hugh Hunter. An overshoot on stage 5 caused the McRae Focus to stall and it refused to restart, pushing Hugh Hunter down a place into third and handing second to Bird, who was hot on his heels, waiting to prey on just such an eventuality. Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield maintained their fourth place with a consistent run, and with just one more stage to go, it's certainly a strong place to be. No more incidents for David Wright and Michael Wilkinson. They keep the car in the right direction and in fifth place. Nick Elsmore and Paul Spooner managed to jump up another place on the leaderboard, now into sixth. Elsmore's progress up the leaderboard drops Roger Chilman and Andrew Sankey down a place into 7th. While Tom Cave and Craig Parry remain in 8th place, despite not having the cleanest of runs through the afternoon stages. Nigel Griffiths and John Scott seem to struggle with an advance to improve their 9th place, and with 30 seconds to Tom Cave, it was looking like finishing in this order. Meanwhile, still holding on to their 10th place on their four-wheel drive debut were Harry Hunt and Steve McPhee. A lucky escape in the afternoon for Jamie Anderson and Ella Flynn when the car took to a roll at this corner, handily landing the right way up and able to continue without much time lost. This incident once again caught by a spectator in the right place at the right time. Third place in Class N3 at the end of the event went to Scott Partridge and Chris Ridge in the Impreza. David Poyser and John Orme take second in the class, a position they had occupied for much of the day. But for Nick Cristofaro, it would be a disappointing end. An accident on stage 5 causing some damage to the car, which although didn't slow him down, was deemed unsafe to continue the following stage by the scrutineers. So this means that Matt Beebe and George Gwynn take the class win in their MG. In Class B10, it would be Damien Thomas and Anthony Litchfield taking the final step on the podium, third in class in the Peugeot 205. Nigel Booley and Dave Cato take second in the Escort. But winners of the class in their Escort are Sean Edwards and Gavin Haycock. Jim Munden and Andy Frost round off Class B11 in third place. Alan McDowell and Gavin Heseltine in the Sideways Opel Kadett finish a respectable second in class and the top spot in the Silverstone Tyres Star Driver category. But it's Mad Mick Jones and Dale Furness who take the class win at the end of a hard-fought event. In Class B12, James Swift and Matthew Pugh take a third place finish, while Colin Webb and Matt Rogers in the BMW finish 33 seconds back in second. But it would be Tim Freeman and Chris Butcher taking the class win, despite not having the original car they planned to compete in here this weekend.
I'm joined by Wyn Jones of Team GMF. Now, Wyn, it's fantastic, as we said last year, to have the involvement of a company like GMF in the Wydene and in rallying in general. How have you found the second year?
Probably been even better, to be quite honest with you. Obviously, we didn't really know what to expect last year, so we put a bit more into it. I think this year we've organised ourselves a bit better, and it's been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, great day, and we've even booked the weather this year, which was a bit colder last year. So yeah, fantastic, and 250 people turning out with us today. Can't ask for any more.
Well, I mean, they must have had a great day at your hands going out to the stages on coaches. But just how important is it to have rallying and a sport such as rallying associated with your brand?
It goes hand in hand, I think, and it's become obviously it's a big event locally. It's known throughout, obviously, I think, throughout the country, and our customers keep asking, "Oh, you're doing the rally again?" So and the branding's been really strong for us as well. We've used it on, we use it on all our literature that goes out. So I think it becomes kind of more of a partnership now between us and the Wydene.
On to the overall top 10 now, and in 10th place it was Harry Hunt and Steve McPhee in the Hired Evo. A great result for the pair, and proof, if they needed it, that they could go well with four wheels scrabbling at that stage as well as two. Nigel Griffiths and John Scott remain in 9th overall, second in Class B13. While 8th overall, after an undiagnosed problem with the Impreza on the last stage, are Roger Duckworth and Mark Broomfield. The car will now need looking at and thoroughly checking over before the next rally. A productive pre-season test for Tom Cave and Craig Parry in the GRM Evo, 7th overall is a good result against some stiff competition. Good preparation too for the British Rally Championship for the likeable Welshman. No repeat win here this weekend for Nick Elsmore and Paul Spooner, but another impressive finish for the pair in front of Nick's home crowd.
Okay, right through over crest jump, continues long. And right 2, 40, right 1, 80 up middle, left 1, 130 up middle, left 5, open left 5, 130.
Well, I couldn't have drove much faster. You know, we had a blast on the last 3 stages. Hopefully we've held on to top 5. Wasn't really near the World Rally cars. The technology beat me left, right and centre. So we've had a blast. She's still in one piece, ready to be sold. And yeah, I'm looking forward to a different chapter. I'm going to probably not rallying on the head now, I think, to be honest. And I'll pay a few young up-and-coming drivers.
Well, you've had a good innings. And did we mention that it's for sale?
It is for sale, yeah. You know where I am.
Good result, well done.
Thanks a lot, cheers.
Roger Chilman and Andrew Sankey seem to be getting to grips with the new car now, and they end the event in 5th overall. A good season opener. David Wright and Michael Wilkinson managed 4th place after an eventful rally, and with 3 significantly more powerful cars in front, it was a good first rally for the new car, and probably as good as could have been expected. Not wanting to push too hard and force himself into a silly mistake on the final stage, Hugh Hunter opts for a clean run to take 3rd overall, a good haul of points in the BTRDA and the Welsh Championship.
Hugh, fantastic result after a bit of a complication near the end there.
Yes, yeah, we've had a great day. We've had a really, really good day. Stages were brilliant, though a bit slippy. Mail Scott really let us down. We had a big spin, 6th gear, and cost us, I don't know, 20-25 seconds in there, so cost us dear, that did. But other than that, a fabulous day, really good, and the car's been brilliant.
Well, it's really good to see you back and such a solid result, you know, 2nd year on a run.
Yeah, good start to the season, bodes well for the rest of the year, and very happy that we're, you know, competitive from the off, and it's looking like being a really good season ahead.
Congratulations.
Thanks very much.
A good first visit to the Forest of Dean stages for Paul Bird and Kirsty Riddick results in a very credible 2nd overall in the Focus. But winners of the 2011 Team GMF Whiting Forest Rally are Andy Burton and Robin Kellard. A fantastic result, and with this being the last time the car will compete on the Forest of Dean stages, it will certainly be one that goes down in history.
Andy, back at the top once more. Well done.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, a really, really good feeling. It's been a long time, so yeah, let's hope it carries on
We
through.
were concerned earlier when you were a bit further back on the road from where we expected you to be when you arrived at the racecourse, but
Yeah, we've had a misfire all day and been trying to sort it out, and luckily we haven't lost too much time with it, and it's just gone on to 5 again. Now we've changed everything, so but we've just
teasing us.
Yeah, it's teasing us. So it's good to see this for the last year. This car's going to run. That it's
go out in style.
That's what we're trying to do. Yeah.
And look at the competition. You know, top spec World Rally cars, last year's cars, and drivers that have local knowledge.
Brilliant rally, and the more people like this makes it even better. It's been a really good start to the season.
Congratulations to you both, fantastic result.
Thank you.
Well, as we stand here at the finish in Chepstow, Andy Burton has started his season off in the most dynamic way with a well-deserved season opener victory. The Wyerdene stages, sponsored by Team GMF, has once again proved itself to be a worthy opener for the UK's premier gravel rally championship. Thanks for watching Special Stage. See you next time.